He didn't have the mesmerising dribbles of Messi, the towering headers of Ronaldo, or the lightning speed of Mbappe yet. Hugo Sanchez became one of the greatest Mexican footballers ever to grace the game. But how? What was so special about an ordinary guy from South America? There was something peculiar about his style of play, because a solitary touch was all he needed to wreak havoc on the football field. In a world where football is about extreme physical exertion and effort, for Hugo it was different. He waited and waited until the ball came to him, and bang! The ball was hitting the back of the net. This is exactly what Haaland does at City and Bellingham does at Madrid. No offence. But there is a difference between Hugo and these guys. Surprisingly, despite the years of domination in the league, Sanchez never won a Ballon d'Or, and there is a reason behind it. To find out, keep watching. If finishing was an art, Hugo was its Picasso. He didn't need any tricks or dribbles or moves. It was just a moment of brilliance, a split second where he got the ball, and what ensued next was utter disbelief. He ascended to such heights of excellence that, from 1985 to 1990, Hugo Sanchez reigned as the top goalscorer in La Liga for 4 consecutive seasons. My goodness, bro had a knack for scoring goals. Jeez. But despite those extraordinary stats, Hugo never got the recognition he deserved, and he might as well be one of the most criminally underrated players in footballing history. But had he come from Spain or Germany or Argentina, he could have been part of the GOAT debate. Coming from New Mexico City, Hugo had athleticism in his DNA. His father, Hector Sanchez, played a crucial role in shaping his path to magnificence in football. Surrounded by the right environment, young Hugo received everything he needed to become a football prodigy. Cherry on top, his sister was an elite gymnast who taught some serious mobility and acrobatics to the young boy. And it worked. Over the next few years, Sanchez became something the world had never seen. And at the age of just 14, he was already representing UNAM, a club of Mexico's national university. Can you believe this? A teenager playing for a university. But this was just the inception. A few years later, in 1975, at the age of just 16, Hugo had his big break as he got a chance to play for Mexico's football team in the Pan American Games. And oh God, not only did he play, the rising legend scored a hat-trick against Costa Rica. Can you imagine? A teenager scoring a hat-trick and returning with a gold medal. He was special, but the world wasn't ready yet to recognize his finesse. But the people of Mexico knew they had finally found their redemption. A gem of a football player. In the 1976 Olympics, Hugo was a speck of light in complete darkness. Facing formidable players like Michel Platini and Jean-Paul Bertrand, the young lad managed to score against mighty France. In the same year, Hugo started playing for UNAM in the Primera Division, displaying his exceptional skills. His stellar performances aligned with a golden era for UNAM. They clinched the title in his debut season and later added the Copa Interamericana. Hugo quickly established himself as a lethal goal-scoring machine. In just his 3rd season in the Primera Division, he astonishingly topped the scoring charts with an impressive tally of 28 goals. Damn. But despite all his efforts, Pumas lost the championship. So during the summer of 1979 to 1980, Hugo went to North America and played on loan for the San Diego Sockers, continuing his goal-scoring spree with remarkable consistency, bagging 12 goals in just 17 matches. Damn. In the next 2 seasons, he was even better, scoring a goal nearly every outing. In fact, in the 1980 to 81 season for the Pumas, Hugo scored 26 goals. His performance dropped a bit, but still, his opening goal in the league final won the UMAS its 2nd championship, and was followed by a CON-CACAF Champions Cup and a Copa Interamericana. He pretty much won everything. In fact, His time with the UMAS was a golden era, a time when the team eclipsed new highs and set insane records. But let bygones be bygones. Ha! That's some serious nostalgia. In a nutshell, during his 5 years with the UMAS, Sanchez scored 104 goals in 200 appearances. And now finally, the young Mexican was now ready to dive into deep waters. In a new continent, in a new country, in a new city. Premier League and La Liga clubs were trying to secure the golden boy. I mean, who on earth would miss such a signing? Well, as Sanchez was from Mexico, he preferred a Spanish-speaking country and signed a contract with Atletico Madrid, a team that had been number 8 in the La Liga points table, embarking on his next chapter with the Rojiblancos. But yeah, his first year wasn't easy. Adjusting to La Liga proved to be a gradual process for the golden boy, with his initial season seeing him make just 20 league appearances and scoring 8 goals as he was finding his footing. Initially, Hugo experienced a bit of a rollercoaster at Atletico, frequently moving in and out of the starting lineup. However, the next 2 seasons marked a turning point as Sanchez started adapting to the conditions. He was scoring at a rate of 1 goal every 2 games. It was great, but it didn't turn Atletico's fortunes, and the club finished relatively low in the points table during this period. But eventually, Hugo turned the tide for Atletico. In the 1983-84 season, the club finished in 3rd place in the points table. In the 1984-85 season, Hugo was scoring for fun. He contributed consistently and secured victory in the Copa del Rey after a lasting wait of 9 years, clinched a commendable 2nd place in the La Liga and lifted the Spanish Supercopa. Atletico's investment had finally paid off, and soon Sanchez won his first Pachichi Award, the first of many more to come. In the next season, in a weird sequence of events, Sanchez signed up for Los Blancos, Atletico's arch rivals, and this move was worth every dime. He was now sharing the pitch with La Quinta del Buitre, and time proved his immense worth. He cemented his stature as one of the world's greatest strikers. He topped the scoring chart in the La Liga for 4 consecutive seasons from 1985 to 1990, winning 4 consecutive Pachichi Awards. But sadly, Hugo never won a Ballon d'Or, even though, back in the day, he deserved it more than any player. And when asked in an interview, he gave his reason, quoting, "Before, players from the American continent were discriminated against because they couldn't vote for us to win the Ballon d'Or. But this didn't undermine the fact that he was one of the most elite scorers the La Liga had ever seen. And he sits at number 5 in the list of highest number of goals scored in La Liga. But what made him so special? As we mentioned before, his sister trained him, and this training added so much flexibility and agility to his body that sometimes his playmaking seemed unreal. More importantly, his insane ability to maneuver swiftly through tight spaces, make quick turns, and change direction, coupled with his capacity to maintain balance while executing intricate maneuvers, was a treat to watch. And don't even mention his eye for spectacular volleys and wondrous strikes, mostly from outside the box. Yeah, you can call them tap-ins if you want. Although he was just 1.74 meters tall when he stepped onto the pitch, it seemed like he was weightless. Gravity did not affect him. His aerial prowess was mind-blowing. But everything aside, the strongest weapon in his arsenal was his bicycle kick. He had mastered it like no one else, and every time he got the chance, he was unstoppable. I mean, in today's football, he might as well get booked for showboating. But back in the day, oh my god. Once, in 1985, Leo Beenhakker, Hugo's coach at Real Madrid, famously praised the exuberant quality of his goal-scoring ability. He said, "When a player scores a goal like that, play should be suspended and a glass of champagne offered to the 80,000 fans that witnessed it." During his time at Real Madrid, Hugo played 282 matches and scored 208 goals, helping the team win various titles. But more than the trophies, his real impact came from scoring incredible goals like volleys, bicycle kicks, and scorpion kicks, which became the highlight of his often overlooked career. For the national team, he played 58 times and scored 29 goals. His legacy goes beyond the silverware. He's still the GOAT from Mexico who ruled the Spanish league in his prime. And if you're in for some thrilling videos, don't forget to check out the player who couldn't make a simple pass yet got his name into the history books.